Good evening and happy Passover. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited to be on. I'm super excited to be memorializing this beautiful day, y'all. Like, this is amazing to be alive in this day and time, and then to be alive in the spirit in this day and time. So, glory be to the Most High. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in because I'm getting started a little later than I wanted to because this woman decided to straighten her hair, and my hair is extremely long and it's very thick. So I started at about 7 and it's almost 10 o'clock now. So that's 3 hours straightening hair. It better last. That's why I keep my hair covered and I keep it in like some double twist and just keep it covered. And that's how I move along in life because good Lord, but thank the Most High for the blessing of the glory on this crown. So, anyhow, I'm going to Hebraically timestamp today, and then Gregorian wise, we'll timestamp it. So today is the 15th day of the first Hebrew month, and it is the fifth day of the work week, and we are in a full moon phase of the phases of the moon. Gregorian wise, it's April 1st of 2026. It's now 9:53 p.m. That is Central Standard, and it is Wednesday. So glory be to the Most High that we are alive on this day. I want to go ahead and forewarn that any freezing, glitching, pausing, and he's still hearing words, but I'm still froze. It's the internet service provider, just so that you are aware. It's not the device this time, okay? But let's go ahead and hop into it so that you all can memorialize this day and just enjoy it to the best of your ability. Enjoy it alone, with family members, with friends, however you're celebrating. I hope that you enjoy it. Glory be to the Most High. So, anyhow, let's go ahead and review the Passover origination, which begins in Exodus chapter 12. And this chapter has 51 verses, okay? And then it also moves into chapter 13, giving additional information about the Passover, all right? So that's to any of the newcomers. And to those of us that are accustomed to this story, it's always good to recollect on the greatness of the Most High while we are memorializing his days. So let's go ahead and turn to Exodus chapter 12 and begin in verse 1. It says, And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month unto you the beginning of months, it the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take according to the number of the souls, every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike on the two side posts and on the upper doorpost of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast fire his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof. And the pertinence is just like the liver, the things on the meat organs, the organ like the liver, the stomach, all that good stuff. In verse 10, it says, And ye shall let nothing of it remain unto the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it, your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste, it the Lord's Passover. So the Most High is explaining to us, He has given us blatant and easy instructions, very easy to understand instructions on how to observe the Passover, how to memorialize the Passover, how you are supposed to eat of the Passover, okay? And I like that. I like how easy it is to understand. It's not hard. Let's go ahead and proceed into verse 12. It says, For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I, the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy when I smite the land of Egypt. That's why it's important to listen to what the Most High says, because He tells you what to do for a specific reason, and He'll tell you exactly how to do what He's telling you to do for a specific reason. And just think about the fact of the matter. Think about the Israelites that maybe decided not to listen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they did, but think about an Israelite that would not have listened in this day and time. Yahweh is letting us know that on this day, He's going to smite, aka kill, the firstborn of the Egyptians, whether it be cattle, beast, child. He's going to kill them. But so that He'll know who His are, or who the Israelites are, the house of Israel is, you strike the posts of your front door with lamb's blood or sheep blood. And by striking, I mean you just basically marking the outdoor post so that it basically is significant, or it's a sign letting you know that this house belongs to an Israelite, or an Israelite resides here. I apologize. I always start stuttering and getting tongue twisted. But anyhow, let's go ahead and move on to verse 14. It says, "And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever." An ordinance is a law or a decree. And the Most High says that this is something that we're supposed to keep throughout all of our generations. So it doesn't matter what anyone tells you, what anyone else does. This is something that you have to do. You're supposed to. You shall keep it throughout all your generations. Your children need to be keeping it, your children's children, your children's children, and so forth. Verse 15, it says, 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. Now it's important, as I was previously mentioned on a couple of videos over, or some shorts over, I kept reminding, I think about 2 reminders, to remember to clean out the leaven from your homes, your abode home, and then also within yourself. Because you don't want the Lord to come in, at this time would have been the house, finding any leaven in this day and time, the leaven within you. So it's important that that leaven is not in you or in your home. It should be removed. That's what He's saying in verse 15. Verse 16, it says, "And in the first day in holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be in holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save which every man must eat, that only may be done of you." So He's letting you know on the first day of these 7 days that we keep the Passover, it's a holy convocation. You are not supposed to be doing any servile work. The only work that you do is the preparation of what you're going to eat. That's the only work that you're supposed to do. And on the 7th day of these 7 days that we keep the Passover, you treat it the exact same way that you treated the first day, as a holy convocation. No servile work. The only work that you're supposed to be doing is the work that you're putting in to prepare your food. Verse 17, it says, "And ye shall observe unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or both in the land." You know, it's important to take time out to recognize that when anyone for that matter, but especially the Most High, when someone is repeating themselves, that is placing emphasis on how important what they are saying is. We literally just read a couple of verses up how the Most High told us or stated to us that we should not have any leaven in our home, or you'll be cut off from the congregation. He comes down a couple verses later and says the exact same thing. It's important that we listen to the Most High. Very important. Let's go ahead and continue. We're going to pick up in verse 20. It says, "Ye shall eat nothing leavened, in all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread." Now, unleavened bread is just basically, it's kind of like, I would say, a cracker, but crackers have leavening in them. So typically, people that are believers in the scriptures, they make their own unleavened bread. Or there's this bread, I think it's called a mitzvah or mitzvah. It's on the kosher aisle at stores, and it's literally it's an unleavened bread too. That one, in my opinion, is not very tasty. So I do definitely prefer to make my own unleavened bread, and you just make it with literally flour, oil, and water. That's it, and a little salt if you salt to taste. That's really how you make it. You mix it all up, roll it into balls, and knead it and cook it on both sides. And it's very delicious. That's how I make mine anyhow. You can make it sweet. You can make it with salt. You can put different seasonings on it. You don't have to just be bland with it. But anyhow, yeah, that's how you make unleavened bread for any of you that don't know. And if you don't feel like making unleavened bread, that's a place that you can possibly go to get your unleavened bread. It's raining really hard. That's beautiful. Anyhow, verse 21. It says, Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, Draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip in the blood that in the basin, and strike the lintel. What happened there? It's like my screens froze. I do apologize. One second. My apologies. It's because it's raining, and so the screens froze up there. But anyhow, I'm going to reread verse 22. I do apologize. I hate making mistakes during the reading of the scriptures. Verse 22, it says, And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip in the blood that in the basin, and strike the lintel and the two side posts with the blood that in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. So hyssop or hyssop, however you properly pronounce it, is a plant. It's a beautiful plant. And during this time, you'll actually come to find that a lot of grocery stores do sell it. They do sell it because I bought it one year when I didn't grow my own. And I actually did this part. I did this part. And so, oh my God, my covering done fell off my whole head. Y'all, hold on. Good Lord. Oh my God. Hold on. I apologize. So it's notorious. My head coverings are notorious for falling off when I'm reading the scriptures. I hate when it happens. But anyhow, as I was previously mentioned, you will come to find that hyssop plants or hyssop, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. They're found at a lot of major grocery stores because I purchased one year. And I followed these instructions here. I had a lamb and I dipped the hyssop, or I dipped the plant in the blood and struck my doorpost. And so I wanted to do the whole 9 yards. So that's what I did. But anyhow, that was at my old where I used to live when I stayed in Texas. So let's go ahead in verse 23. It says, For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the side posts, on the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite. So it's important that you smoke those doors with the blood using that plant and not go outside your house into the morning, because that's when that the angel of destruction was passing through to kill the firstborn of the Egyptians, whether it be cattle or a child. Verse 24, it says, And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, What mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, It the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the house of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshiped. So it's important that you teach your children what they're doing in their belief system. They don't have to just be following foolishly or in ignorance. You could teach your children. You're supposed to teach your children so they can teach their children. So you let them know why it is that we keep the Passover. This is memorializing the day that the Most High passed over our homes and killed the firstborn of the Egyptians and not our children. So, verse 28, and not our cattle's children either. Verse 28, And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for not a house where not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, Rise up, get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go, serve the Lord as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone and bless me also. I ain't gonna tell myself bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We all dead. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading trowels or troughs, being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them required as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. So if you understand, or if you bake bread, I love baking bread. I be baking bread like it ain't no tomorrow. If you understand the process of baking bread, you know that it takes a moment for the dough to rise. So we eat unleavened bread because you ain't got enough time to be waiting on this bread to rise. The yeast got to be in a warm area to rise. So we have all that time to prepare the victuals or prepare our food in that sense. We were in haste, and that's why we eat unleavened bread. That's why it's considered unleavened, or that's why we're eating unleavened bread. Verse 40. It says, Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. That night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. So it's expressing how important it is for us to make sure that we are observing this day, memorializing this day. This is the day that the Most High freed us of our captivity. And that's what we're waiting on now. We are waiting on now to get up out of the captivity of Babylon. So you need to be making sure that you are memorializing this moment and living it up in this memorial. Verse 43, it says, And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when the stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. That is basically, those particular verses are expressing how to treat a stranger and then a sojourner. Let me make sure. A homeborn and a stranger. Let me see. Not a homeborn. My apologies. How to treat let me pause it and get my speech together. Yes. So the law is for it's just basically expressing how a homeborn, this is a law, y'all. Just reread verse 49. I don't know why my speech is slurring. It's time to get off of here already. But that is the law pertinent to those that are not Israelites by blood, flesh, how they are supposed to keep the Passover when they're with us or among us, okay? Reread. Verse 50, it says, Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day, the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. 19 minutes, that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and try to get through chapter 13 quickly here. And chapter 13 is a reiteration of chapter 12. So let's see if we can get through it before 30 minutes. It says in verse 1 in chapter 13 of Exodus, The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, of man and of beast, it mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand the Lord brought you out from this. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month Abib. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the seventh day a feast of the Lord. So 7 days we keep the feast of unleavened breads or Passover. So feast of unleavened breads and Passover is utilized interchangeably. You can use them both. It's the same feast. But on the seventh day of the Passover or on the seventh day of the feast of unleavened bread it's a feast to the Most High. You're supposed to righteously turn up. So anyhow, verse 7. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. And thou shalt shew thy son in that day, saying, Because of that the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with the strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in this season from year to year. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix or the womb, and every firstling that cometh of the beast which thou hast, the males, the Lord's. So it's letting you know that the firstborn male of any beast, when they make it to the land to come, or to the land that the Most High is taking them to, that male firstborn beast belongs to the Most High. Verse 13. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with the lamb, and if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck. And all the firstborn of man among thy children shalt thou redeem. And it shall be when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, What this? That thou shalt say unto him, By strength of hand the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males. But all the firstborn of my children I redeem. That's beautiful, yo. Verse 16. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for frontlets between thine eyes. For by strength of hand the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Yahweh led them not the way of the land of the Philistines, although that near. For God said, Let peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. But Yahweh led the people about the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, Yahweh will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Sukkoth and encamped in Etham in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night before the people. So it's good. It reiterates the Passover in chapter 13, and then it starts moving into when we were led into the wilderness, or into the wilderness. What was I going to say? In chapter 23 of Leviticus, if you begin in verse 1 through, let me see. Yes, verse 1 through verse 8. This is reiterating the holy feast or the Passover. So verses 1 through 8 is the Passover, but this chapter in general gives you information on the holy feast, the month that you're supposed to observe it, the day in which you're supposed to observe it, and also how to observe it. I didn't mean to read super fast. If you all felt like it was fast, what I was trying to do was not try to, lose your attention, because a lot of us have short attention spans because we're on this dopamine rush of wanting things fast, and a lot of us partake in these stupid social medias. So it's like if it's not interesting enough to grasp your attention in the first 2 seconds, typically people do not stay that long. And totally understandable. This word is for those that the Most High has ordained it for, and those that He has ordained it for have attention spans that are long. Okay, and so anyhow, again, I didn't mean to read it fast, but I did provide where to go to read it and then how to locate it yourself, which is the same thing. I just said it 2 different ways. But anyhow, y'all, I'm excited. I'm about to go and partake in my Seder meal, which is eating bitter herb, unleavened bread, and a piece of lamb. And then, yeah, I'm about to like pray and listen to some goodly music and just sit here because I'm not working tomorrow, or when the daylight comes up. I'm observing the Passover, so I'm just about to be sitting here and just looking at my table decorations. But anyhow, I've got to go. It has been lovely being on. I hate that it's like freezing. I can see it freezing. Anyhow, I will talk to you all as Yahweh wills. I love you. Enjoy your Passover. Remember, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Never cease prayer, bind and loose, and always live ready. Keep in mind the law of the Lord as you work to secure yourself in the confidence, trust, and belief of the word of the Most High. That is what causes you to be justified in the eyes of the Lord, and what makes you considered, or what it helps you to be considered righteous. It's getting late. Anyhow, I love y'all once again. Happy Passover and have a great evening. Bye.